Hi guys, we're here today back on the 1370. We're back into production. We've had a couple of months of disruption with the recent COVID outbreak in Ho Chi Minh. We've had work progressing the whole time, but we're now back to work full time. We've got most of our staff back on site and we're able to come and go from work as usual. That means we're really getting back into the schedule. As an owner, you'll have just received a schedule update from us in the last few weeks. Having come back to the factory, we've looked back into our current status and what our commitments are and what our current abilities are moving forward, and we've put together that schedule update and sent it out to everybody. We'll continue to work on that, and we still expect that we're going to have significant gains once we get production really set up, but that's just an update on where we currently are at the moment. So now that we're back at work, we've got a few things that have happened over the last couple of months, despite the severe slowdown on production. I want to run you through where we're at with the current boat and bring you up to speed. Okay, so we're down in the starboard owner's hull. This area will form the corridor. This is where you'll have the wardrobes, you'll have the table or additional wardrobe storage if required. And as we move aft, we go into the heads. And in this area, this is where we'll have the bench top and basins. You can see we've got the opening window here, we've got windows here. Behind me is where the shower will be. The shower screen will be in this position. So moving aft from here, we go into the full shower stall. You can see it's a significantly sized stall. We've got a small seat here. The main reason for this seat is to provide access and space over the engine. This is enabling us to maximize the cabin space and the engine space. You also see here, this is the access to the sail drive. This will enable you to do maintenance through the sail drive, either from inside the boat or from deck. As you can see over the top, this gives you direct access over the sail drive. Standing here, I'm standing at about the floor level. I'm 5'11", and so you can see here I've got significant space above my head in most areas. This will be one of the lower areas of the boat. As we make our way forward, again through the midships area and then into the cabin, this is where we'll have our bunk. So you can see we've got half of the bunk molded into the furniture here, half of it will hang over as part of the timber work. So that will come out to this area here, the steps up either side of the bunk, as you've seen in the renderings. And again, to give you an idea of scale, standing here, you can see how much room I have above me to the bulkhead and how much room I have above me to the deck level. So significant height here. Not going to have a problem with headroom. Again, visibility wise, this is my line of sight. I'm at the top level of the window here. You've got good visibility out the window, and for the length of this cabin, most of this is open. Again, as we move forward, we have the wardrobe space up here with plenty of space for storage, both high and low. And then below the floor, we have access panels in most areas. Which opens up access into the bilge. And you'll notice up here the full carbon fiber main bulkhead. You'll also notice carbon fiber on the companionway bulkhead, on the stringers, around the windows, and in most structural areas of the hull. So that's all this black composite that you see. This is all carbon fiber. So what you're seeing here, we've got our furniture built into the boat, and we also now have the companionway bulkhead, which is part of the headliner for the two aft cabins. That is now in hull number 1. You'll see it's all glued and glassed in. It's all glassed into the hull in its entirety. And then as we come over to starboard, you'll notice the main bulkhead again, all glassed in. continuous one-piece beam. Again, we have our headliner on the aft cabin here. As we make our way inside, you'll start to see the shape and layout of the aft cabin, and we'll also go into the mid-head. Okay, now we're in the aft cabin, and you can see we've molded this area so that there's a lot of access underneath the bed. So this can be used for the optional drawers, or for luggage, or larger items like surfboards and inflatables. Over the back of the bed here is where you'll have the access to the engine room. You can see here you've got quite a large access panel, and this gives me full access to the engine, stern drive, from inside the boat. Again, you'll notice the height of this hatch is above the waterline. It's actually above the immersed waterline if that compartment was to become flooded. You'll notice here you've got the access to the engine room, you've got full access to the engine and to the sail drive from inside the boat, and you'll notice that the height of this hatch and opening is above the waterline, and it's actually above the immersed waterline if the engine bay were to become flooded. It's a good safety feature, and it also enables us to access the engine internally in case of bad weather, making the deck access uncomfortable. Now we've found our way to the guest cabin, and you can see the bed structure up here. We've got steps to get onto the bed, and then we've also got our single berth forward, which as you can see has the area to be converted into a workspace. Storage forward, storage inboard, the storage below the bunk as well, and then we have our outboard cabinetry to go in out here. Just to give you a sense of scale, this is the engine bay. This is behind the port head. You can see the engine would be positioned here. The sail drive goes slightly under the back of the shower stall. I've got storage here for the waste tank. I've got plenty of space around me. The deck level would be at around this level, so I'm standing above the deck at the moment. But I crouch down, I've got access to the engine, I've got access all around. The compartment behind me here, this is a sealed, airtight and watertight compartment. So this is for reserve buoyancy. This means that if you penetrate the transom or the rudder shaft, this area is sealed, it's not going to come through into the engine bay. Again, you'll also note, just like the main bulkhead and the other structural bulkheads in the boat, this bulkhead is completely carbon and glassed in.